Step one is going to be create self challenges. Life will create its own challenges for you. So challenges are coming your way whether you want them or not. So you might as well pick a few on your own so they can be things that you can overcome and improve your skill set of overcoming challenges and becoming mentally tougher in a more controlled way. So instead of waiting until life like kicks you in the balls, so why not start with a little bit of sparring practice? Okay? Why not start with something you can control a little bit more? So in podcast 19, so way back when in podcast 19, we did a podcast called Aim Low. And what we referred to was when you want to improve something in your life, when you want to get better, when you want to make challenges or just pick up small good habits, okay, is if you start with something low, don't start with something high, some crazy astronomical challenge that you're not even remotely close to enough being like able to handle. Is start low, aim low. Aim so low that it's almost insulting that you can't do it every day. So, for example, you want to eat one healthy meal a day. One meal a day that you would post on Instagram and share with the world because you're proud of it being healthy. Just one meal a day. It's not that hard. Everybody can do one meal a day. Okay? Think about if you try to do one push-up a day. It would be more troublesome to get down into a push-up position to do one push-up and get back up than it would be beneficial to do one push-up. But that's discipline. Okay? It takes discipline to get down on the floor and do the push-up every day. So I remember when I was 15 years old, on my birthday, I made a challenge to myself. I was going to do 250 push-ups and 250 sit-ups every day because I thought they would make me less fat and less weak. So it was something I did to try to change myself. So that was my goal, 250 push-ups and 250 sit-ups every day. I missed 10 days between my 15th birthday and my 16th birthday. So I did it correctly, okay? For every other day of the year, I met my goal except for 10 days. I still remember 10 days because I don't like the fact that I missed 10 days. 7 of them was because I was on a Boy Scout trip and I was too embarrassed in front of my friends to do the push-ups and sit-ups. So you have to have discipline. Now, I picked 250 push-ups and 250 sit-ups as a kid who did no push-ups and no sit-ups. That was a horrible choice. Those were absolutely miserable, and at times they took me an hour or longer to complete because I had to sit there and just kind of do it in miserable sets, and that was way too high of a number. But it did teach me mental discipline. If I wanted to change, I was only going to change if I put in action. So if I wanted something in my life to be different, I had to do something different. That taught me at a very young age that anything that happens in my life, if I wanted like something to change, I have to do something for that change. I can't just sit there and bitch and whine like most people do. Oh, I wish I had more money for this. Oh, I wish I had more time for this. Shut the hell up and make the money and make the time. That's your choice. You're either going to take action to make change, or you're going to sit there and bitch and whine about the same stuff day after day. Okay? That's your choice. So what we're saying with this is to take freaking action. Take control. Okay? Create small challenges for yourself. Things that are directed towards what you want to accomplish. Now, I've talked before about how I use an app on my phone called Goal Tracker. And what it does, it looks like a monthly calendar. And on a day you do something you're supposed to do, you put a check mark. On a day you missed it, you put an X. So I have a couple things that I track, whether I do every day or not. And I put a check on my good days, X on my bad days. And then I compare how many X's I have from month to month to month. And hopefully I'm getting less and less and less to eventually where they're all just checks. To where they all become just daily habits that I want to do without it really being that stressful, without it being something that even feels like an accomplishment at some point. Eventually I just want it to be who I am. I am a person who does those things every day. That's it. It's not a choice. It's not something that takes effort from me, takes energy. It's just automatic. So I use that app, Goal Tracker. And I've talked about it before. One of the things I love about that app is there's no space to write excuses. If you didn't do something that day, you get an X. It does not matter why the hell you didn't do it. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. And if you didn't do it, you're not going to get any damn results or any benefits from it. So you can list down whatever the reason is for why you didn't do something, and it doesn't mean shit. It means nothing. If you didn't do the action, you don't get the result. So if you were supposed to work out, but you didn't work out, doesn't matter why you didn't work out. Doesn't matter at all. None whatsoever. If you don't work out, you don't get the benefits of working out. Done. So your excuses don't mean anything. Absolutely nothing. So I like that that app gives you no space to put excuses. You either did it or you didn't do it. That's it. Okay? So when you create self-challenges for yourself, you want to make sure you track how well you do at them. You want to track your adherence, you want to track your results, you want to track your behaviors. You have to have clear-cut ways to see what is happening. If you don't, you're going to get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, I believe I'm doing well. Bullshit. Don't believe, know. Okay? You need to know how well you're doing, not believe you're doing well. We all, myself included, lie to ourselves all damn day about how our intentions are actions. Oh, well, I meant to do that, so, that makes me a good person. No, you didn't do it. If you meant to do it but you didn't do it, you don't get points for just thinking good thoughts. That's ridiculous. So you have to actually do the thing to get points for it, okay? So you have to make sure that you track your behaviors. So that way you can be certain of the fact of whether you're improving over time. So that's the first thing, is you need to create self-challenges. And aim low. Start with low, small, almost insulting things. Go listen to podcast 19 if you want to find out more about why that's really important. Okay? So aim low, but then track your results. Track your adherence, track your behaviors. Make sure you know how you're doing, not believe how you're doing. Okay? Then you need to learn how to persevere. You need to learn how to meet those challenges. So you found the challenge you want to have, you created the challenge, but now you got to meet the damn challenge. So you have to learn techniques, okay, of pain tolerance, techniques of discipline. So there are 40 million books in the world about discipline and mental toughness and stuff like that, okay? But what I would suggest is figuring out, there's a lot of them that I'd almost have to make a separate podcast for, and maybe I will, okay? But it all comes down to just a choice. You have to decide, do you want to make yourself better? Do you want to do this or not? There are a million secret tricks, okay? Like if I want to start learning how to do push-ups every day, there's a book I read where a guy did a push-up every time he flushed the toilet. So every time he'd go to the bathroom, he'd do a push-up. So he attached a new behavior to an existing behavior. So to something he already did every day without much thought, he attached and tagged with it a new behavior. So if every time he went to the bathroom he did a push-up, doing push-ups would become a daily habit. Then eventually he would just do all of his push-ups in the morning rather than doing them in random bathrooms throughout the day. But it became something that it became a new old habit, if that makes sense, by attaching it with an old habit. So that's a technique. So there are a bunch of those things. Oh my gosh, like endless amounts of those kind of techniques. So you can go read like self-discipline type books. One of the other books I've read about, and like a bunch of different books on the same topic, is pain tolerance techniques. So how do you handle pain? Whether it's emotional pain, mental pain, physical pain, and that helps a ton. So it's important sometimes to learn distraction techniques. So to where like if something is happening, like say you're doing, I'll use an example from my mom, is say she's doing a really hard set of leg press in the gym, she'll try to imagine herself on the beach and think of like different specifics. Like is it hot on the beach? Like is it overcast or is it sunny day? Is the sand like a nice cool moist feel, or is it like a hot burn your skin type sand? Are you sitting in a chair or are you sitting on a towel? Are there kids and other people around, or is it like secluded beach? So you would do distraction technique, where if you're in a pain, okay, and you want to kind of avoid it, or like not avoid it, but just kind of get your way through it. Mental distraction is one technique. Okay, you just think of things other than the moment you're in. Then the other one is to hyper focus on the moment you're in. So if I'm in the leg press and everything hurts so damn bad, I can hyper focus on which part of my muscles am I using. Am I pushing just through my quads, or am I actually using my hamstrings and glutes? Can I try to flex my glute on every single rep? Am I flexing my right glute as hard as I'm flexing my left? Am I flexing them right from the start, or am I bouncing out of the bottom? So you can actually hyper focus on the technique of what you're doing. So I've been working with a young girl, I think she's around 13 years old, with her parents' permission, of course, and we've been working on mental toughness. So I've actually been taking her through exercises that she can apply these things. So for example, I had her doing a challenge the other day where she was doing side planks, and she had to do what's called an active transfer. So she'd be on her right elbow and right foot doing a side plank. She'd have to kind of bring her left arm down, have her chest face the ground, put her weight onto her left arm, and then roll over to doing a side plank on that other side. But she could never put her hips down, she never put her knees down, she had to be active the whole time. So we were doing active transfer side planks, and she had to do those for time. So she maybe had to do them for a minute or 2 minutes. And it was a repetitive action. It doesn't take a lot of technique attention. So she was doing distraction technique. She said she was kind of picturing herself walking through her grandparents' kitchen, and she was kind of trying to figure out the colors of the kitchen, like what appliances were on which part of the shelves. So I had her kind of working on that. Then we had hyper focus techniques, where I had her doing squats down onto a box, where she would sit down on the box, and we had 2 marks on the floor. Then she'd stand up in front of her, we had 2 marks on the wall. And she had to do different touch patterns as she was doing the squats. So she had to pay attention to the patterns in which she was touching, and that allowed her to hyper focus on the technique skill of what she was doing. So for example, she's a swimmer. So if she gets distracted, the quality of her technique can sometimes downgrade. So we had to teach her how to hyper focus into the technique as a way of managing pain. So that way she could swim the best race possible and not let the pain or the fatigue of the race slow her down or make her inefficient. She had to maintain maximum efficiency throughout the entire race, just like she had to maintain maximum efficiency of her touch patterns as she was doing her squats. So no matter how tired she got with her squats, she still touched the exact same pattern in the exact same spot. So that was something that was really helpful. So you can look that stuff up. That stuff is extremely helpful if you've never practiced it. Then the last thing you want to do, okay, so you want to create self-challenges. You want to aim low, and you want to track what you're doing. You then can learn how to persevere. So learn pain tolerance techniques. Learn self-discipline techniques. Go read books, okay? You can do Audible. I like listening to audiobooks while I'm doing dishes, doing laundry, whatever, while I'm getting ready in the morning, brushing my teeth. So I like that because it's already kind of time that's mindless. So I add in a mindful activity such as an audiobook. So that's a huge, huge, huge bonus. You can get through books way faster if you do that than having to create time to sit down and physically read. Okay. The last one is attitude of gratitude. So you need to be thankful. You need to be positive. Okay? So be thankful for the fact that you're getting to pick the challenges. Okay. When we say create self-challenges, that's something to be freaking awesomely thankful for, that your life has enough margin at the moment that you can choose to bring in a challenge of your own. That is something super awesome to be grateful for. Okay? And then also be grateful for the fact that you get to recognize that challenges you face are opportunities to grow you, not break you. Challenges aren't bad. Challenges are freaking awesome opportunities. It's like somebody came to you and gave you a treasure map and said, hey, if you can figure out this map, if you can walk the journey, you're going to make $1 million. You wouldn't punch him in the face for the map. You would say, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is freaking awesome. And then you'd start about the journey because you won $1 million. Every challenge you face is like a freaking treasure map. If you can navigate your way through it, you will become a better person on the other side. That should excite you just as much as $1 million does. Okay? So be thankful for the challenges you get to face in life because they're opportunities to grow you. And be thankful that you have other people you can lean on, whether they're actual friends or family, whether they're books and resources. But it's awesome that we get to face challenges in life of things that other people have already been through. And we can learn lessons from them to make our own journey easier and more successful. So don't go through a challenge all alone. Anytime you need help, there is people around you who know how to help you. They've either been there before, they can help you with love and compassion or just a listening ear, or they can maybe move you on to a resource that might help you. And if you say, I don't have anybody like that, guess what? Now you do. So thank you for listening 45 minutes into this podcast, which is way longer than it should have been. But thank you for listening to this, and you have now made a friend. So email us at brutalironjim@gmail.com. We can help you. I promise we will. Okay? I'll find somebody who knows the answer, or I'll find a resource that has the answer. So if you're going through something, if you're struggling with something, then here I am telling you to be grateful that you have other people who can help you, and you're like, I have no one. Now you do. Okay? Email us and we'll help you out. brutalironjim@gmail.com. So, how do you develop mental toughness? You accept and create self-challenges into your life. You then invest into learning techniques on how to address those challenges, how to be successful at those challenges, how to overcome those challenges. So you can read books on pain tolerance if it's physical pain type stuff. You can read books on mental discipline if it's mental discipline requirements. There are so many resources. Okay? So many. That's your goal. Create challenges, learn how to overcome them, and then be thankful for the opportunities you have to be challenged, the opportunities you have to become better. Okay? So remember, to develop mental toughness, we only grow to what we go through. So, if you want to grow tougher, you have to go through more hardships. You have to challenge yourself. You have to go through more if you want to grow to more. Okay? Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it gets your mindset right. And like I said, if you need any help on your journey, email us. We're here to help. We're happy to help. Okay? Our email is brutalironjim@gmail.com. Good luck. If you like this information, you can find more from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Brutal Iron Gym. Also, if you like the podcast, please share it with family and friends. The more people we help, the happier the world will be. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. So this podcast is for you, so we want to know what you want to learn about. And you can tell us at our email at brutalironjim@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.